Greetings, friends and speed enthusiasts!
Welcome to the qualifying rounds for the 11, 10, and 9-second motorcycle categories in the 8th round of the Barranquilla 2024 quarter-mile drag racing championship.
We begin with a duel between Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09 and Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900.
Wilson Mejia, on his Kawasaki Z900, takes the top spot in the 11-second category with a time of 11.245 seconds. Meanwhile, Albiro Orozco clocks an ET of 11.889 seconds on his Yamaha MT-09.
Next up, we have John Martinez on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R versus Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Z1000SX.
Martin Correa, on his Kawasaki Z1000SX, secures the second provisional position with a time of 11.433 seconds, followed by John Martinez on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R with a time of 11.792 seconds.
The next face-off is between Tatiana Rosenthal on her Yamaha MT-09 and Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750.
Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki GSX-S750, sets a time of 11.206 seconds, taking the top provisional spot. Tatiana Rosenthal, on her Yamaha MT-09, secures the third position with a time of 11.382 seconds.
Next, we have Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900 against Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX.
Neither rider improves on their previous times, so they maintain their positions.
Now, Tatiana Rosenthal on her Yamaha MT-09 faces off against David Zuniga on his Kawasaki Z1000.
Tatiana Rosenthal improves her previous time, clocking in at 11.382 seconds. David Zuniga, on his Kawasaki Z1000, posts a time of 11.726 seconds.
The next duel is between Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 and Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900.
Wilson Mejia, on his Kawasaki Z900, does not improve his previous time. However, Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki, does, setting a time of 11.143 seconds.
Next up, Tatiana Rosenthal on her Yamaha MT-09 races against Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Z1000SX.
Neither rider improves on their previous times.
The next matchup is between Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900 and Juan Sebastian Torres on his Yamaha R6. Wilson Mejia, on his Kawasaki Z900, clocks a time of 10.996 seconds, making him the top qualifier in the 10-second category. Meanwhile, Juan Sebastian Torres, on his Yamaha R6, records a time of 11.955 seconds, placing him 7th in the 11-second category.
Next up, we have David Zuniga on his Kawasaki Z1000 versus Jamie Dorado on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX.
Jamie Dorado, on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX, posts a time of 11.695 seconds. Meanwhile, David Zuniga, on his Kawasaki Z1000, improves his previous time with a mark of 11.643 seconds.
Following that, Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 goes up against Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R.
Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki, does not improve his previous time. Meanwhile, Juan Manzano, on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, sets a time of 11.360 seconds, placing him in 3rd position.
Next, we have a duel between Juan Sebastian Torres on his Yamaha R6 and Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09.
Juan Sebastian Torres, on his Yamaha R6, improves his previous time, clocking in at 11.820 seconds. However, he remains at the bottom of the table.
On the other hand, Albiro Orozco, on his Yamaha MT-09, also improves his previous time with an ET of 11.711 seconds, moving up 1 position to 7th place.
Then, Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 faces off against Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900.
Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki, fails to improve his previous time. Meanwhile, Wilson Mejia, on his Kawasaki Z900, clocks a time of 10.974 seconds, slightly improving his previous mark.
Next up, we have Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX against Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09.
Albiro Orozco, on his Yamaha MT-09, improves his previous time with a mark of 11.433 seconds, moving up from 7th to 5th position, matching the time of Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX, who this time does not improve his previous record.
The next duel is between Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 and Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R.
Juan Manzano, on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, slightly improves his previous time, clocking in at 11.307 seconds. However, it's not enough to take the lead, which remains with Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750, who, in this round, does not improve his previous time.
Next, we have a duel between Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900 and Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX.
Incredibly, both bikes clock the exact same total time, meaning they cross the finish line at the same time. However, in the qualifying session, what matters is the ET, and in the case of Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900, he does not manage to improve.
On the other hand, Martin Correa, on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000, sets an ET of 11.201 seconds, moving up from 4th to 2nd place.
The next duel is between two Suzuki GSX-R1000s ridden by Andres Camargo and Edward Manzano.
After this round, the 9-second category is inaugurated, with Edward Manzano on his Suzuki GSX-R1000 clocking a time of 9.619 seconds, followed by Andres Camargo on his Suzuki with a time of 9.974 seconds.
Next up, David Zuniga on his Kawasaki Z1000 faces off against Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R.
Juan Manzano, on his Kawasaki Ninja, does not improve his previous time. Meanwhile, David Zuniga, on his Kawasaki Z1000, does improve, recording a time of 11.504 seconds, though he remains in 6th place.
The next matchup is between Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 and Jamie Dorado on his Kawasaki Z1000SX.
Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki, fails to improve his best time. However, Jamie Dorado, on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX, does improve, clocking a time of 11.687 seconds.
Next, Tatiana Rosenthal on her Yamaha MT-09 races against Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09.
Tatiana Rosenthal, on her Yamaha MT-09, does not improve her previous mark. Meanwhile, Albiro Orozco, on his Yamaha MT-09, records a time of 11.399 seconds, slightly better than his previous time, though he remains in 5th position.
Now, we have David Zuniga on his Kawasaki Z1000 going up against Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Z1000SX.
David Zuniga, on his Kawasaki Z1000, narrowly misses improving his previous time. Meanwhile, Martin Correa, on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX, slightly improves by clocking a time of 11.170 seconds, coming very close to the top spot.
Now, we have a duel between John Martinez on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R and Tatiana Rosenthal on her Yamaha MT-09.
John Martinez, on his Kawasaki Ninja, does not improve his previous time. Meanwhile, Tatiana Rosenthal, on her Yamaha MT-09, does improve, clocking a time of 11.279 seconds, moving up from 4th to 3rd place.
The next matchup is between Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 and Martin Correa on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX.
Martin Correa, on his Kawasaki Z1000SX, does not improve his previous time. However, Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki GSX-S750, improves his previous time, clocking in at 11.086 seconds, solidifying his first place in the 11-second category.
Now, we have a duel between John Martinez on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R and Jamie Dorado on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX.
Jamie Dorado, on his Kawasaki Z1000SX, does not improve his previous time. Meanwhile, John Martinez, on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, does improve, clocking in at 11.711 seconds, although he does not move up in position.
The next matchup is between David Zuniga on his Kawasaki Z1000 and Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09.
David Zuniga, on his Kawasaki Z1000, improves his previous time, recording a time of 11.334 seconds, moving up to 5th place and pushing Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09 down, as he fails to improve his time.
Now, we have a duel between John Martinez on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R and Juan Sebastian Torres on his Yamaha R6.
Juan Sebastian Torres, on his Yamaha R6, moves from last to 7th place thanks to a time of 11.516 seconds. Meanwhile, John Martinez, on his Kawasaki Ninja, does not improve his previous time.
The next duel is between Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900 and Jamie Dorado on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX.
Jamie Dorado, on his Kawasaki Ninja Z1000SX, improves his previous time, clocking in at 11.565 seconds. Meanwhile, Wilson Mejia, on his Kawasaki Z900, does not improve his previous mark.
Next, Andres Camargo on his Suzuki GSX-R1000 makes a solo pass.
Andres Camargo, on his Suzuki GSX-R1000, improves his previous time, clocking in at 9.966 seconds. However, he remains in 2nd place in the 9-second category.
Now, we have a duel between Christian Alcala on his Suzuki GSX-S750 and Wilson Mejia on his Kawasaki Z900.
Christian Alcala, on his Suzuki, falls just 1,000th of a second short of his best time. Meanwhile, Wilson Mejia, on his Kawasaki Z900, improves his previous time, clocking in at 10.962 seconds.
Next, Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R faces off against Juan Sebastian Torres on his Yamaha R6.
Juan Manzano, on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, improves his previous time, clocking in at 11.243 seconds, moving from 4th to 3rd place. Meanwhile, Juan Sebastian Torres, on his Yamaha R6, does not improve his previous time.
Finally, to close the qualifying session, Andres Camargo and Edward Manzano on their Suzuki GSX-R1000's face-off.
Camargo, on his Suzuki, does not improve his previous mark. Meanwhile, Edward Manzano, on his Suzuki GSX-R1000, sets the best time of the day so far with a time of 9.481 seconds.
Thus, the qualifying sessions came to an end. However, from the final of the 12-second category, Carlos Pinilla, on his Yamaha MT-09, entered the 11-second category.
With a time of 11.910 seconds, Carlos Pinilla, on his Yamaha MT-09, was disqualified from the 12-second category and placed at the bottom of the 11-second motorcycle rankings.
And so, the qualifying sessions come to an end. In an upcoming video, all these bikes will compete in each of their categories in the quest for the championship trophies. Subscribe so you don't miss it.
Thus we come to the end of the video. If you liked it, support us with a like and consider subscribing to see more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.